You were never meant to live an average life. Deep inside you, there's a restless fire that refuses to be silenced, a whisper that grows louder with every year you spend ignoring it. You feel it in the pit of your stomach every time you settle for less. You hear it in the silence of the night when your heart races, not from fear, but from the unbearable weight of unrealized potential. What if I told you that the life you dream of isn't just possible, it's waiting for you, screaming for you to take it? What if the only thing standing between you and everything you want is the decision to start thinking and acting like a true millionaire? Not someday, not when it's convenient. Now, most people wander through life like sleepwalkers, caught in an endless loop of habits they never chose and thoughts they never questioned. Earl Nightingale once said, "We become what we think about." Those 6 words hold the entire secret of success, yet they are ignored by the very people desperate to change their lives. The mind, when left untamed, becomes a prison. But when you take control of it, when you deliberately choose your dominant thoughts, you transform it into a weapon, a forge, a kingdom where you are the sole ruler. Millionaires are not just born from ideas, they are born from a mindset, a relentless internal standard that refuses mediocrity and demands greatness at all costs. If you think like a true millionaire, you don't wait for opportunities, you create them. You don't react to circumstances, you shape them. You don't ask for permission, you build your empire from the ground up and dare the world to keep up with you. The first transformation happens inside. It's invisible, silent, lonely. It's in the moments when you're tempted to procrastinate and you choose action instead. It's in the days when your emotions scream for comfort and you choose discipline. It's in the late nights and early mornings, where the only witness to your sacrifices is your own reflection. Neuroscience tells us that repetition carves grooves into the brain, like rivers etching valleys through mountains. Every disciplined thought, every courageous action, every moment of focused energy deepens those grooves. And over time, those grooves become highways, automatic pathways that direct your behavior effortlessly toward your goals. You no longer have to force discipline, you become discipline. But here's the brutal truth. Most people will never experience this transformation. They'll quit at the first sign of resistance. They'll tell themselves they aren't lucky enough, smart enough, born into the right family, while the real reason they fail stares back at them in the mirror every morning. Fear, weakness, excuses. But you are not most people. You wouldn't be here listening to these words if you were. Somewhere deep within you is a decision waiting to be made, a line waiting to be crossed. The decision to stop living like a prisoner of circumstance and start living like a true millionaire, free, powerful, unstoppable. Thinking like a true millionaire means embracing radical responsibility. It means understanding that everything in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly, is a direct reflection of your past thinking and actions. It means no more blaming, no more complaining, no more waiting for someone to come save you. It means standing up, facing the brutal reality of where you are, and taking full, brutal ownership of where you are going. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Millionaires don't waste time crying over circumstances. They channel every ounce of energy into creating new ones. The way you think shapes the way you act, and the way you act shapes the way you live. If you think small, you act small. If you act small, you live small. But when you dare to think big, truly, ferociously big, you unleash forces inside yourself that you didn't even know existed. You unlock reservoirs of courage, resilience, and creativity that were waiting, dormant, for a reason to wake up. That reason is your vision. True millionaires see beyond the immediate. They think in decades, not days. They play the long game. They sacrifice comfort today for empires tomorrow. They understand that the pleasure of discipline outweighs the regret of neglect. Every action they take, every thought they nurture, is aligned with their vision. And because they align thought and action so relentlessly, success becomes not a matter of if, but when. You must think like a builder, like an architect of your future, laying one brick at a time with ruthless patience and precision, not rushing, not forcing, trusting the process, knowing that the skyscraper of your dreams is rising with every disciplined day, even if you can't see it yet. Just like bamboo spends years building an invisible root system before it shoots up feet into the air almost overnight, Your work in the darkness is preparing you for an explosion of visible success that will seem sudden to the world, but you will know better. The external world only sees the results. It applauds the victory, but ignores the years of silent, lonely, brutal preparation. But you will celebrate every step of the invisible journey because you will know that greatness isn't an event. It's a habit. It's a choice made in the trenches, day after day, in the silence where champions are born. Success demands that you feed your mind before you feed your desires. It demands that you invest in your mind like a warrior sharpens his sword before battle. Books, mentors, experiences, daily study. These are not optional luxuries, they are weapons, tools you sharpen every single day. Earl Nightingale taught that knowledge, properly applied, is power. But without application, knowledge is dead weight, useless. It clutters your mind with the illusion of progress without ever moving you an inch closer to your dreams. Thinking like a true millionaire means you consume information not to impress others, but to transform yourself. You study not to look smart, but to become dangerous. You learn not for entertainment, but for execution. And every piece of real knowledge you absorb becomes a brick in the fortress of your destiny. But thinking differently is only half the battle. Acting differently is where transformation is sealed. The world is full of people who think grand thoughts, who dream big dreams, who talk endlessly about what they could do, might do, plan to do. And yet, they never move. They never act. They live and die in a graveyard of potential, their minds cluttered with what-ifs and regrets. Acting like a true millionaire means you move fast. You execute relentlessly. You don't wait for perfect plans or perfect conditions. You start now, where you are, with what you have. And in starting, you gather momentum, that invisible, precious force that turns small actions into massive shifts. Like a snowball rolling down a mountain, gathering mass and speed, your consistent, disciplined actions compound, becoming unstoppable. You will not always feel like acting. That's reality. Feelings are temporary, fragile, unreliable, but commitment, true commitment, is iron. It doesn't sway with the weather. It doesn't yield to mood swings. When you think and act like a true millionaire, you rise above your emotions. You use them as fuel, not chains. You act regardless of how you feel, and in doing so, you shape your emotions instead of letting them shape you. Neuroscience shows us that action itself rewires the brain. That confidence isn't a prerequisite for action. It's a consequence of action. When you act boldly, even when scared, even when doubtful, you teach your brain that you are a person of action. And over time, hesitation dies, replaced by automatic forward momentum. Real millionaires live by principles, not moods. They understand that moods are fleeting, but habits are destiny. They craft rituals that serve their vision, building a life by design, not default. Morning routines, focused work sessions, dedicated learning hours, strategic networking, all aligned, all relentless, all feeding the vision. And they protect their environment with fierce jealousy. They know that negative environments, toxic influences, and pointless distractions are cancers to the mind. You cannot build a millionaire life while bathing your mind in mediocrity. You must elevate your surroundings, or escape them. Sometimes this means walking alone for a while. Sometimes it means leaving behind friends, habits, even entire identities that no longer serve your future. It means grieving the death of who you were to give birth to who you must become. This is the price, and yes, it is high. But the price of regret, the slow, suffocating realization that you betrayed your potential, is infinitely higher. True millionaires know that wealth is first spiritual, then mental, then finally physical. They know that a poor mind cannot create a rich life. They understand that abundance must be felt internally before it can ever be manifested externally. This is why gratitude, visualization, and belief are not soft, optional practices. They are essentials. Daily gratitude sharpens your focus on opportunity instead of lack. Daily visualization programs your subconscious to seek and create the reality you envision. Daily belief strengthens your emotional muscles against fear, doubt, and failure. The world will throw storms at you. It will test your resolve, your patience, your faith. There will be nights of darkness so thick you'll question whether the sun even exists. There will be defeat so sharp you'll feel your soul bleed. But if you hold the line, If you keep thinking and acting like a true millionaire, the storms will pass. And when they do, you will still be standing. Stronger, wiser, hungrier. Because success doesn't go to the lucky. It doesn't go to the entitled. It doesn't go to the dreamers. It goes to the fighters, to the relentless, to the ones who decide and then refuse to undecide. If you want to think and act like a true millionaire, you must fall in love with the process, not just the rewards. The world teaches you to chase outcomes, trophies, bank balances, applause. But the wise know that those things are only echoes of the unseen battles won in silence. You must make the practice itself your reward. You must find joy in discipline, satisfaction in sacrifice, pride in unseen effort. When you detach your identity from the results and tie it instead to the work, to the relentless daily pursuit of excellence, you become unstoppable because nothing external can touch you anymore. Wins don't inflate your ego. Losses don't destroy your spirit. You stand in a place of unshakable power because you know who you are, and who you are becoming is not up for negotiation. True wealth begins with a wealthy mindset, and a wealthy mindset is built on a foundation of patience, vision, and ruthless execution. Millionaires plant trees they know they will not sit under for many years. They invest today knowing the harvest is coming, even if they cannot see it yet. They work with an urgency for today and a patience for tomorrow. Most people want fast success because deep down, they doubt they are capable of sustaining effort over time. But you must be different. You must be willing to endure the seasons, to embrace the cycles of planting, watering, nurturing, and waiting without complaint, without panic, without losing faith. Faith, that invisible engine of the soul, is what separates those who dabble from those who dominate. Faith in yourself, faith in your process, faith in the unseen forces moving in your favor when you move with purpose. Every action you take is a signal to the universe about what you truly believe you deserve, not what you say you deserve, what your behavior proves you believe. When you rise early, study hard, execute relentlessly, refuse distraction, reject excuses, and choose long-term rewards over short-term pleasure, you are shouting to the universe, I am serious, I am ready, I am worthy. And the universe responds, slowly at first, then all at once, aligning people, opportunities, and breakthroughs in your path that no amount of luck could ever explain. Thinking and acting like a true millionaire also means mastering your inner dialogue. The words you whisper to yourself in the quiet moments, those matter more than any speech you could ever give to the world. Are you speaking to yourself with power, with conviction, with belief? Or are you poisoning your own soil with doubt, fear, and self-attack? Every thought is a seed. Every internal conversation is either growing your future or killing it. Earl Nightingale warned us that if you do not deliberately plant flowers in the garden of your mind, weeds will grow automatically. You must become the ruthless gardener of your own mind, every day pulling out weeds of negativity, replacing them with seeds of confidence, action, vision, and gratitude. When doubt arises, and it will, you don't entertain it. You don't negotiate with it. You crush it with action. You drown it with evidence. You silence it with relentless forward motion. Action kills fear. Movement kills hesitation. Progress, no matter how small, slays the monsters of self-doubt that feed on your inaction. You think and act like a true millionaire by becoming a creature of movement, of relentless, disciplined momentum. And understand this. Discipline is not about perfection. It's not about never making mistakes. True discipline is about refusing to let a single failure define you. It's about falling 10 times and standing up 11. It's about missing a shot and stepping up again for the next one without flinching. Millionaires are not perfect. They are persistent. They are resilient. They bleed, they cry, they doubt, but they never stop moving forward. Never. In the world of true millionaires, failure is not a curse. It's a classroom. Every setback is data. Every mistake is feedback. Every obstacle is a forge for resilience. They don't waste time crying about setbacks. They mine them for lessons. They adjust. They recalibrate. They grow stronger. The average mind shrinks from adversity. The millionaire mind expands because of it. The road you are walking will be lonely at times. It will be misunderstood. It will be mocked. People will question you, laugh at you, doubt you. Let them. Their laughter is the soundtrack of your ascent. Their doubt is fuel for your fire. Their disbelief is the invisible weight that, when lifted day after day, builds your mental muscles stronger than steel. Do not seek their approval. Do not crave their understanding. Understand yourself. Approve of yourself. Stay true to the vision burning inside you, even when no one else can see it, especially then. Because thinking and acting like a true millionaire is not about impressing others. It's about building something eternal inside yourself, something no storm can destroy, no betrayal can shatter, no failure can erase. It's about forging a version of you that looks obstacles in the face and smiles, a version of you that keeps rising higher even when the ground crumbles under your feet, a version of you that one day will look back at the long, lonely road you walked and realize you wouldn't trade a single step of it for anything in the world. That road, those scars, that journey, they are your true wealth, and they are only the beginning. There will be moments on this journey when you will feel invisible. You will put in the work day after day, and the world will remain silent. No applause, no rewards, no signs that what you're doing even matters. And it is in these moments that most people quit. They tell themselves the lie that effort without immediate reward is wasted effort. But the true millionaire mind knows better. The true millionaire knows that silence is not the signal to stop. It is the signal to dig deeper. It is the test to see if you are worthy of what you say you want. The soil must be broken before the seed can grow. The foundation must be dug before the tower can rise. The struggle before the breakthrough is not a punishment. It is preparation. You must hold the vision tighter in the darkness than you ever did in the light. You must double your efforts when the world offers no guarantees. You must trust the process, not the applause. The internal scoreboard is all that matters. Did you show up today? Did you move the needle today? Did you honor your standards today? That is the scoreboard of the true millionaire. External success will come. It is inevitable for those who persist. But the internal standards must come first. You must live today like the person you intend to become, not like the person you are tempted to remain. Every great achievement you admire was once invisible too. Every skyscraper you see towering over the skyline started as a hole in the ground. Every fortune was once just a dream in a tired mind. Every breakthrough was once just another lonely, thankless hour of grinding in silence. Success doesn't announce itself ahead of time. It arrives suddenly, explosively, overwhelmingly, but only after years of being built invisibly, silently, patiently. This is why patience is the secret weapon of the true millionaire. Patience is not passive. Patience is power. Patience is knowing that the results you crave are on their way, and acting every day as if they were already guaranteed. Patience is trusting the law of cause and effect. If you sow relentlessly, intelligently, patiently, you must reap. It is law, it is truth, it is inevitable. And while you wait for the harvest, you keep sowing. You keep sharpening your tools. You keep strengthening your mind. You keep building habits so strong that even if the world tried to stop you, you would keep moving forward purely out of who you have become. Because true success is not about reaching a destination. It's about evolving into the person who could have created it. If all the money, fame, power were handed to you today, would you have the mental strength, the emotional resilience, the disciplined habits to keep it, to grow it, to multiply it? If the answer is no, then your work is not to chase the money. Your work is to chase the evolution. Chase becoming the kind of person who inevitably attracts, creates, and sustains everything they want. That is the way of the true millionaire. The internal creates the external. The unseen creates the seen. The silent battles create the visible victories. And when you finally break through, when the world finally notices, it will feel sudden to them. They will call you an overnight success. They will say, you got lucky. They will invent 1,000 explanations for your rise because they will never see the years of silent grinding, the mountains you climbed inside yourself, the demons you slayed in the dark. But you will know, and that knowledge will be worth more than anything they could ever give you. It will be yours, untouchable, unbreakable, undeniable. And once you have it, you will realize the greatest gift wasn't the money. It wasn't the recognition. It wasn't the applause. The greatest gift was who you became. The warrior forged in silence, the architect of destiny, the master of thought, of action, of perseverance. You will walk through life differently. Your presence will speak louder than your words. Your discipline will echo in every decision. Your resilience will be felt by everyone who meets you. You will become a living example that greatness is not granted. It is built, painstakingly, patiently, invisibly, until it becomes inevitable. And that journey, that sacred, lonely, brutal, beautiful journey, will be your true fortune. Because in the end, the real millionaires are not those who have more than others. They are the ones who have mastered themselves. Thinking and acting like a true millionaire demands a new relationship with pain, with struggle, with the uncomfortable. Most people run from discomfort as if it were death itself. But millionaires, true millionaires, seek it out. They understand that pain is not a wall to be avoided, but a doorway to be broken through. Growth lives on the other side of discomfort. Every time you lean into the pain, every time you choose the harder path, every time you endure what others avoid, you are adding layers of strength to your identity that no setback can remove. Neuroplasticity proves this. When you push through resistance, your brain rewires itself to become more capable, more resilient, more unstoppable. What was once difficult becomes normal. What once scared you becomes familiar. This is not metaphor. This is biology. Your brain physically changes when you consistently choose challenge over comfort. The neurons that fire together wire together, and the person who trains their mind to seek growth will soon live in a world of possibilities where others see only obstacles. But this transformation does not happen in a day, a week, or even a month. It is a slow forging, a brutal refinement through thousands of small moments where you make the harder choice. Waking up when you want to sleep, reading when you want to be entertained, investing when you want to spend, working when you want to quit, planning when you want to drift. These moments seem small, insignificant, forgettable, but they are everything. Because habits are the invisible architecture of your destiny, and every small decision is a brick laid in the mansion or the prison you are building. True millionaires live by the principle that success is hidden in the small, unseen disciplines that the world never notices. The body you want, the wealth you seek, the freedom you crave, all of it lives in the details. In the minutes when you are tempted to settle and instead choose excellence. In the silent choices you make when no one is watching. In the relentless self-mastery that becomes who you are when you think no one will ever know. Real success, real wealth, real freedom, they are not accidents. They are deliberate creations, forged through repetition and sacrifice so deep that the rewards feel inevitable by the time they arrive. The mind trained for greatness knows that the scoreboard the world keeps is irrelevant. The only scoreboard that matters is the one you keep with yourself. Did you keep your word to yourself today? Did you practice what you preach when no one was watching? Did you act like the person you want to become? Or did you betray your future for a moment of fleeting comfort? These are the brutal questions true millionaires ask themselves daily, because they understand that self-deception is the true poverty. The external world is just a mirror. It reflects not your intentions, not your hopes, not your dreams, but your habits, your choices, your silent practices. And so, you must live today as the millionaire you claim to be. Not someday, not when the conditions are perfect, not when you feel ready. Now, you must think with clarity, act with discipline, move with courage, plan with patience, and execute with relentless energy. Your environment must be engineered to serve your mission. Your thoughts must be policed with ruthless honesty. Your actions must be aligned so tightly with your goals that they snap into place naturally, without negotiation, without internal debate. This is the standard. Anything less is betrayal. Anything less is a slow death, masked by temporary distractions. The world will offer you every excuse to lower your standards. It will tell you to slow down, to relax, to compromise, to be realistic. But you must be deaf to these voices, because these are the siren songs of mediocrity. They sound comforting, but they lead to ruin. There is a greatness within you that the world has not yet seen, a power so fierce, so creative, so limitless, that even you have only glimpsed fragments of it, and it is your sacred duty to bring it to life. Not for the applause, not for the fame, but because you were born to build, born to lead, born to become something so much greater than comfort would ever allow. This journey, the real journey, is not about acquiring things. It's about acquiring yourself. mastering your own mind so completely that the external world must eventually bow to the internal empire you have built in silence. That is what it means to think and act like a true millionaire, to become a living, breathing force of nature, to walk into every room, every opportunity, every challenge, knowing, not hoping, that you are prepared, worthy, inevitable. And all of it, every ounce of it, begins with the silent, thankless, disciplined choices you make today. When no one is looking, when no one is clapping, when the only witness to your greatness is you. The more you walk this path, the more you realize that wealth is not about having, it's about becoming. Wealth is a reflection of internal mastery, not external chance. You don't stumble into millions by accident. You shape yourself into the kind of person who can attract, create, and sustain millions naturally, inevitably. Thinking and acting like a true millionaire means understanding that money is energy. It flows to those who have the courage to solve problems, to serve at scale, to persist when others crumble, to innovate when others complain, to build when others criticize. It flows to those who refuse to let fear dictate their moves, who do not shrink in the face of rejection, who do not hesitate when opportunity knocks, and who do not betray their vision for short-term comfort. A true millionaire sees problems as invitations, challenges as stepping stones, and criticism as confirmation that they are moving in the right direction. Because if no one opposes you, you are not pushing hard enough against the boundaries of the possible. To build this kind of mind, you must master your emotions with a surgeon's precision. Emotions are powerful, but they are not truth. They are messengers, but they are not commanders. Feelings of fear, doubt, boredom, frustration. These are signals to be observed, understood, and then transcended. They are not signals to stop. Most people live at the mercy of their emotions, enslaved by the waves of temporary feelings that crash against their goals, their routines, their destinies. But you must become the lighthouse, unmoving, resolute, lighting your path not just for yourself, but for others who will one day look to you for guidance, for proof that it is possible to live a life of discipline, vision, and abundance. You must anchor yourself in principles that do not bend to the winds of fear or the storms of chaos. You must act from conviction, from deliberate choice, from the inner architecture of a mind built like a fortress. This is why your morning matters. The first minutes of your day set the tone for everything that follows. A true millionaire does not stumble out of bed reacting to alarms, messages, distractions. A true millionaire rises with purpose, commanding their mind before the world can command it for them. Meditation, visualization, exercise, study. These are not luxuries, they are necessities. They are the sharpening of the sword before the battle. They are the fueling of the engine before the race. They are the silent rituals that align the mind, the body, the spirit toward a single powerful outcome: growth. When you dominate your morning, you dominate your day. And when you dominate enough days in a row, you dominate your destiny. Consistency, boring, relentless, unsexy consistency, is the true superpower of the millionaire mind. It is not what you do once in a while that defines you. It is what you do every day when no one is watching. It is the way you hold yourself to a higher standard even when it would be easier to slip, to justify, to lower the bar. It is the hundreds, the thousands of invisible reps that the world never sees. The study sessions when others party, the early mornings when others sleep, the sacrifices when others indulge, that build the invisible force the world calls luck when they finally see your rise. But you will know better. You will know that luck is simply discipline compounding over time, like interest in a secret bank account of destiny, ready to erupt into the physical world at the perfect moment. You must also master the art of strategic sacrifice. Every choice to grow requires a choice to let something go. You cannot become something new while clinging to the old. You cannot rise to new heights while dragging dead weight. Old habits, old environments, old mindsets, even old relationships. If they no longer serve the future you are building, they must be released. Not with anger, not with resentment, but with gratitude. Gratitude for what they gave you. Gratitude for the lessons learned. And then, with courage, you must walk forward into the unknown, trusting that what lies ahead is far greater than anything you leave behind. True millionaires are not attached to comfort zones. They are attached to growth zones. They live at the edge of their abilities, constantly stretching, constantly reaching, constantly becoming more. You are not here to live a recycled life. You are not here to be a copy of the people around you. You are here to carve your own path, to create something that has never existed before. Your own legacy, your own empire, your own story of relentless self-mastery and limitless possibility. And it begins not with luck, not with permission, not with external validation. It begins with a decision to think and act like a true millionaire every day, regardless of who notices, regardless of how you feel, regardless of how slow the progress seems. A decision to practice excellence in the shadows until excellence becomes your nature, until the results become inevitable. One day, you will look back at the struggles, the sacrifices, the silent battles, and you will not resent them. You will bless them. You will see that every painful step was preparing you for a life few dare to even dream of. And you will walk through that life with a quiet power, a silent certainty, a deep knowing that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Not by accident, not by luck, but by relentless, disciplined, courageous design. There will come a time when your new way of thinking, your new habits, your relentless actions will begin to separate you from the crowd. You will start to see opportunities where others see dead ends. You will move with clarity while others are paralyzed by confusion. You will act with certainty while others drown in hesitation. And with every new level you reach, the world around you will reveal itself differently. People will not always celebrate your evolution. Some will feel threatened by it. Some will resent you for reminding them of the dreams they abandoned. Some will try to pull you back into the small, safe world you fought so hard to escape. This is natural. Growth triggers insecurity in those who refuse to grow, but you must not allow their fear to infect your vision. You must hold your line. You must protect your mission like a lion protects its cubs, ferociously, without apology, without negotiation. True millionaires are willing to stand alone, misunderstood, ridiculed if necessary, because they understand that greatness is not a group activity. It is a solitary road carved by relentless self-belief and unwavering action. You must also master the relationship with time. Understand that the greatest fortunes are not made by rushing. They are made by patience applied ruthlessly to action. Thinking like a true millionaire means you are willing to plant seeds that may not bear fruit for years, even decades, because you trust the process you have built. You do not demand instant gratification. You are not a child throwing tantrums when results don't appear overnight. You are a builder, a strategist, a visionary. You know that real success compounds invisibly, silently, until one day it explodes into the visible world so powerfully that it seems to outsiders like magic. But to you, it will feel natural, expected, earned, because every day you laid another brick, every day you watered another seed, every day you invested without needing immediate proof. And that is why your results will dwarf those who chased shortcuts, who abandoned the slow work because it did not satisfy their impatient egos. The mind of a true millionaire also embraces relentless learning. You must become a student of success, a student of failure, a student of yourself. You must devour books, study mentors, analyze your actions, reflect on your patterns. You must treat your mind as the ultimate asset, the one investment that compounds faster and pays bigger dividends than any stock, any property, any business. Earl Nightingale taught that 1 hour a day of deliberate study would put you at the top of any field within 5 years. But it is not just study, it is applied study. It is learning with the intent to act, to adjust, to innovate. Knowledge alone is not power. Knowledge applied with precision, with speed, with relentless consistency, that is power. And as you learn, as you grow, as you execute, you must constantly raise your standards. What once impressed you must eventually bore you. What once challenged you must eventually feel easy. You must become addicted to evolution, never satisfied, never complacent, always asking, what's the next level? Where can I stretch further? What skill can I sharpen? Because comfort is the silent assassin of dreams. It whispers lies of contentment while quietly eroding your edge. True millionaires are allergic to comfort. They understand that the moment you stop climbing, you start decaying. There is no standing still. There is only growing or dying. And they choose every day to grow. Understand this deeply. The life you want is already available to you, but it exists on a higher frequency, a higher plane of thought, action, and belief. You cannot drag your current mindset into the higher life. You must rise to meet it. You must shed the old skin, the old stories, the old excuses. You must build the habits, the discipline, the resilience required to operate at that higher level. And the only way to build those is through daily, invisible, often thankless work, through pushing when no one is clapping, through grinding when no one is watching, through believing when no one else does. This is not just about money. Money is a side effect, a measuring stick, a scorecard. This is about becoming a force of nature, a creator, a leader, a master of yourself, a builder of futures, yours and those you choose to lift with you. Because once you master yourself, you will inevitably lift others. Your example will become a beacon for those still trapped in their old lives. Your discipline will inspire. Your courage will awaken. Your results will shatter their excuses. And you will not need to preach or persuade or convince. You will simply live at such a high level that your very existence will be a revolution. And all of it, every ounce of it, begins now. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when the conditions are perfect. Now, with the next thought you allow, with the next action you take, with the next standard you set and refuse to break. Your destiny is being built in real time, right now, with every decision you make. You are either moving closer to the life you crave or slipping further away from it. There is no neutral. There is no pause. Every moment is a vote. Every moment is a seed. Every moment is a stroke of the brush, painting the masterpiece or the mess you will one day call your life. So choose. Choose discipline over distraction, vision over comfort, courage over fear, consistency over excuses, action over procrastination, faith over doubt. And understand deep in your bones that if you think and act like a true millionaire long enough, hard enough, relentlessly enough, the world will have no choice but to recognize, reflect, and reward the reality you have already built within yourself. There is an invisible tipping point in every journey, a moment so subtle that you might not even recognize it when it arrives. A moment when the invisible work you've been doing, the daily disciplines, the painful sacrifices, the lonely repetitions, finally begin to tilt the balance of reality in your favor. Most people never reach it because they quit too soon, mistaking silence for failure, mistaking slow progress for no progress. But if you endure, if you persist, if you refuse to let appearances deceive you, you will cross that invisible line. And once you cross it, momentum shifts, doors open, opportunities multiply, connections appear seemingly from nowhere. But you will know the truth. It wasn't magic. It wasn't luck. It was the compounded interest of 1,000 invisible victories, 1,000 moments where you chose discipline over distraction, mission over mood, action over apathy. This is the power of true resilience, the quiet force that bends reality to the will of those who refuse to break. As you ascend, you will realize something else that separates true millionaires from the rest. They are not merely collectors of money. They are creators of value. They understand that money is a shadow, a byproduct of the value you create for others. It is not the goal. It is the echo of service. You must train yourself to think in terms of value creation. How can I solve bigger problems? How can I serve more people? How can I improve lives in ways that are undeniable? The greater the value you create, the greater the rewards that will inevitably flow back to you. Earl Nightingale called it the law of compensation. Your rewards in life will always be in exact proportion to your service. Think deeply about this, because it is a law, not a suggestion. You cannot escape it. You cannot cheat it. If you want more, you must become more, serve more, build more, risk more. And that transformation begins first within your mind, long before the world ever sees the results. When you truly understand this, everything changes. You stop chasing money and you start chasing mastery. You stop asking, how can I get more? And start asking, how can I give more? And paradoxically, by focusing on giving, on building, on serving, you attract more than you could have ever imagined if you had only chased selfish gain. Millionaires are obsessed with expansion, not of their egos, but of their abilities, their service, their impact. They are students of life, hungry to learn, to adapt, to innovate, to lead. They do not see obstacles as stop signs. They see them as invitations to rise to a higher level. And every time they answer that invitation, they earn a new level of trust from the world, a new level of influence, a new level of abundance. You must also come to terms with this reality. The journey is endless. There is no finish line. There is no moment when you can finally say, "I have arrived," and coast for the rest of your life. True millionaires understand that the reward for reaching one peak is the opportunity to climb the next. They are addicted not to the trophies, but to the climb itself, to the daily challenge, to the stretching of their capacity, to the forging of their character. They do not seek rest, they seek renewal. They do not seek escape, they seek evolution. Their hunger is not a temporary phase. It is a permanent way of being, a core identity woven into their very soul. And so, you must ask yourself, are you willing to live at that level? Are you willing to abandon the soft comforts of mediocrity and step into the relentless, ruthless, exhilarating pursuit of your highest potential? Are you willing to think and act like a true millionaire, even when the results seem distant, even when the rewards seem delayed, even when the path seems endless? Because if you are truly, deeply willing, then the life you dream of is not just possible, it is inevitable. It is already being built with every disciplined thought, every courageous action, every silent victory you stack on top of another. The path will demand everything from you, every ounce of strength, every shred of patience, every drop of faith. It will strip away your illusions, expose your weaknesses, confront your fears. But in doing so, it will reveal the truth of who you are and what you are capable of becoming. And that truth, that raw, unfiltered, unstoppable truth, is the real prize. Everything else, the money, the accolades, the lifestyle, is just the shadow cast by the blazing fire of your transformation. So, from this day forward, live differently, think differently, act differently, wake up with purpose, move with urgency, work with devotion. Guard your mind like a treasure. Invest in your growth like your life depends on it, because it does. Hold your vision with iron conviction. Act boldly, fail forward, adapt relentlessly, persist ruthlessly, serve massively, and trust deeply, unshakably, that the harvest is coming, that your time is coming, that the future you dream of is already on its way, racing toward you at the speed of your own belief and action. And one day, sooner than you think, you will wake up in a life that once only existed in your imagination. You will stand at the summit of a mountain most people never even dared to climb. You will look back at the sacrifices, the struggles, the scars, and you will smile. Not because it was easy, not because it was fast, but because it was worth it. Every painful step, every lonely hour, every invisible victory, all of it will have been worth it, because you will have proven the greatest truth of all, that greatness is not given, it is built, relentlessly, patiently, silently, and then, suddenly, all at once. And it all starts, it always starts, with the decision you make today, to think and act like a true millionaire no matter what. There will come a day when the discipline you practice today will no longer feel like discipline. It will simply be who you are. The sacrifices you make now will feel natural. The relentless action you force today will become effortless. What once felt like struggle will become your oxygen, your normal, your default mode of being. This is what real transformation looks like. Not a dramatic moment of change, but a quiet revolution happening deep inside you, layer by layer, decision by decision, until the old you simply no longer exists, until the weak thoughts, the old fears, the self-imposed limits dissolve into the past like mist under the morning sun. And you stand there, unrecognizable even to yourself, armored by the battles you fought and won in silence, ready to build, to lead, to dominate in a way that feels as natural as breathing. But remember, this victory cannot be borrowed, it cannot be gifted, it cannot be inherited, it must be earned, brutally, personally, relentlessly. Every step forward must be carved with your own hands, driven by your own will, fueled by your own fire. No one will do it for you. No one can walk this path in your place. And that is exactly why it is worth it. Because when you reach the life you were born to live, you will know, deep in your bones, that it was truly yours. Not given, not owed, not luck. Built, crafted, forged. And there is no power greater than that. Because when you realize you created your life through conscious thought, relentless action, and unbreakable discipline, You also realize that you can create anything else you choose. There are no limits anymore. There are no ceilings. Only new mountains to climb, new futures to invent, new worlds to conquer. So, guard your mind like a sacred temple. Feed it only with thoughts that build you, not thoughts that break you. Build habits that serve you, routines that sharpen you, rituals that prepare you for greatness. Surround yourself with people who demand more of you, not less. Who push you higher, not pull you down. Protect your energy as if your life depends on it, because it does. Every thought, every action, every association is either building your empire or burning it. Choose wisely, move decisively, act boldly. Understand that fear will never fully disappear. Doubt will never be completely silent. The path to greatness is not a path free of fear. It is a path walked with fear under your feet. Fear is a passenger, but it does not hold the wheel. You drive, you lead. You move forward despite the fear, through the fear, until fear itself grows tired of chasing you and falls away. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the mastery of it. True millionaires do not wait for fear to vanish. They move forward anyway, certain that the action itself will starve fear of its power. And finally, never forget why you started. Never lose sight of the fire that brought you to this point, the hunger, the vision, the refusal to settle. Success can tempt you to grow soft. Comfort can lure you into complacency. But you are not here to coast. You are here to rise, to evolve, to dominate your space in this world, to leave a legacy that outlives your name. You are here to become the fullest, fiercest, most unstoppable version of yourself. Not just for you, but for everyone whose lives will be changed because you had the courage to change your own. So today, commit at a level you never have before. Burn the ships, eliminate the escape routes, decide that there is no plan B, no fallback, no other life waiting for you if this one gets hard. This is it. This is your time. This is your life. Think like a true millionaire. Act like a true millionaire. Discipline yourself until success becomes inevitable. Move with such ferocity, such faith, such focus, that the universe has no choice but to reward you. Show up every day like your future depends on it, because it does. And one day soon, you will look around at the life you have built and realize that you are living proof that greatness is not given to the lucky. It is seized by the relentless. So rise now. Rise boldly. Rise silently if you must, but rise relentlessly. The world is not waiting for you, but your destiny is.